Before we start the episode proper, Nic and I, Eric, have an announcement to make.
We do. And it is as follows. The episode you're about to hear...
It's not an announcement. It's a disclaimer.
No, it's a disclaimer. We recorded these episodes several weeks in advance. So if you hear the joy in our voice, if you hear two people with the knowledge that they can just go and buy a gallon of milk or a family pack of toilet paper whenever they want, that's because these episodes were recorded several weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Still feeling good, Eric?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely envy those ignorant fools that are about to start speaking. But time. Yeah,
it was a simpler time. All right, hit it.
Welcome to episode 241 of the All the Books Show, recorded at the David A. Howe Public Library. We talk book news, author news, and literary news. And I'm Eric Mickles, and with me is the Boy Wonder,
Nick Gunning. Why'd you call me the Boy Wonder, Eric?
I don't know.
No reason. It's not
so
topical
young and
with what we're talking about today?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, because I saw you wearing those green hot pants to work yesterday.
It was unseasonably hot. Thank you very much. Okay?
It was just so green. It was lime green.
It was very green.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't regret it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you have a yellow jacket, so it just
yeah, with the yellow
yeah.
and the...
You're actually starting to sound like somebody in a Fanta commercial.
Yeah, that's true. Don't you want that? All right. Today we're going to be talking about the DC Comics hero Robin.
Why?
The Boy Wonder. Because, Eric, Robin debuted in the pages of Detective Comics in April of 1940. So Robin is turning 80.
Wow.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah. That's about the same age Chris O'Donnell was when he played the role.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, I'm kind of curious to do this one because, I mean, you know that I love Robin. I don't really know your feelings about Robin. I can guess who your favorite Robin is.
Prepare to be amazed.
Okay. So this is going to be a learning experience for all of us. We do have
My favorite Robin is Spider-Man.
Oh. We do have lots of Robin and, of course, Batman books in the collection here, so you can always stop and check these out anytime. Yeah. And if you're a sucker for punishment, you can watch the film Batman and Robin, starring an elderly Chris O'Donnell as Robin, as Eric pointed out. All right, let's get into some bookmark.
He's just gonna take out his retirement fund and leave Wayne Manor.
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
I don't need this.
No. So
bookmark. You said bookmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got? Altered Carbon? Where are we
Altered
at?
Carbon. I finished Altered Carbon.
Yay. I heard Anthony Mackie on The Daily Show talking about season 2, and I was like, oh. So,
yeah.
Fill me in.
It's a body swap sci-fi.
Oh.
Like your consciousness is saved and you're re-sleeved into a new body.
Ugh.
So, like a chip.
Re-sleeved?
Yeah, that's just what they do. They just call body sleeves.
Ugh.
So, like
a SIM card in a phone.
Yeah. It's just one of those situations where, like, you could be walking down the street, but I'm actually the brain in charge.
Oh.
But then that would be my body, and I have to be like, who am I?
Is this at all related to the Bruce Willis movie, Surrogates?
No. Well, yes, in that it's also like a cyberpunk film noir detective story.
Oh, okay.
So,
how do you feel about the Bruce Willis film, Surrogates?
It was disappointing.
You didn't like it?
No.
Okay. Have you, since we last recorded, watched the movie Simone?
No.
You haven't picked it up? Okay.
No.
Have you read Elvis Live at 5?
No.
Okay.
Again, Altered Carbon, the book.
Yes.
Not for the faint of heart, for those who don't want sex and violence.
That, yeah.
Very brutal. Especially, and even up to the end, I was like, goodness. One person was threatening another person with pliers, and then they fought back. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I didn't want to. And then the pliers did what they were going to do in the first place.
Understood, yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, the book was good. There's 3 of them out. We have all 3 in this library.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
trendy. We're
Woken Furies was, we got that because it was like a award nominee or something, but it was book 3 of this.
Yeah.
So I might read the others. I don't know. It's going to be a while. I finished that Rogue series. Oh, I read Tom King's Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah.
9 issues.
I don't really know much about this series.
So Heroes in Crisis, I think, was originally pitched at looking at the mental health of superheroes and how they deal with all the, specifically in the DC universe, all the crises that they've dealt with. So there's a place that they can go to, but then that place is responsible for a bunch of deaths, and they're trying to figure out who killed people. And so it's not at all a look at superheroes dealing with their mental health, nor is it a very good detective thing. It's annoying. It's 9 issues long. Tom King, I'm glad he's being given this freedom to try new things and bring a fresh perspective into the thing.
Yes.
He's just so darn pretentious. And like, I like Grant Morrison books. I like Alan Moore books. Tom King is just like, he thinks they're them. And he's just so, his dialogue is just so...
Not a fan.
I want to scream.
Wow.
It's just, It's very similar. Everybody kind of has the same type of inflection and speaking. It's just it's maddening sometimes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So not a fan
of Tom King.
Yeah.
I've read so much. I've been reading his Batman run this whole time. I read his other thing. I'm gonna read his Vision.
Okay.
And I liked his
it's
Sheriff of Babylon.
Sorry, Tom King and Tim Seeley. I always switch in my head. But it's
Tom King is the ex-CIA agent who's writing Batman currently.
But it was Tim Seeley who wrote Grayson, which is a spy.
Okay,
thing.
Yes.
That's why, because I knew he has that in his background.
No, Tom King wrote The Vision.
Okay,
and
yes,
wrote
I remember that.
the Mr. Miracle that won a bunch of awards.
Yeah, which you were kind of bummed out by, right?
Yeah, it's depressing, but I like that. That was with characters that were weird enough and a situation that was weird enough. Just reading this, it's just so frustrating. Also, I said this on my Goodreads thing, but if your comic book miniseries, your miniseries, is going to be longer than 4 to 6 issues, you better have a darn good reason why. Because I just read that 16-issue Avengers standoff.
Yeah.
Listen, Civil War was 7 issues, people. The only 12-issue series, even Infinite Crisis was 7 issues. There is no reason this should be 9 issues.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a 12-issue Watchmen. Unless you're writing the next Watchmen, which Tom King must think he's doing every time he sits down with a pencil.
This is getting mean.
Anyway, mean.
You know what? Tom King did kick off Grayson. So I've read Grayson, and I've read... I started his Batman run with I Am Bane, I Am Gotham, I Am Suicide, and I liked it all right, but I've never really gotten into Tom King as a writer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sometimes he writes good, sometimes he's very pretentious.
Huh.
I read that Grayson. Yeah, I read that Tom King Grayson as well.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I give it 3 stars, though.
No, we could talk a little bit more about Grayson in the spotlight. But
Okay. That'll be fun.
Yes, it will.
I'm also reading, or I started. I don't know how far I'll get, but I'm on the 2nd chapter or 3rd chapter of the Yiddish Policeman Union.
Oh, okay.
Police Union.
By Michael Chabon.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's currently writing Picard.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I got to start reading. I think I might start reading the Extreme X-Men that Chris Claremont wrote in 2001.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, it's not. It's not.
That sounds bad.
It's not. It's not held up as great. And I read the first volume as when I was younger, and I was like, I'm not going to keep going on this. But that's where Rogue was during that time.
Okay.
Just reading about Rogue and her adventures.
Yeah. Just follow her along.
Yeah,
Rogue.
Yeah.
I read the Oysterville Sewing Circle by Susan Wiggs, and I have a bone to pick with one Susan Wiggs, because in the book, she throws some shade at a little show called Beverly Hills 90210. She calls it a boring show.
Oh, snap.
That her sister liked.
Uh-huh.
And as some listeners know, Kendra and I host a 90210 podcast called 902 Here We Go.
Yeah.
And we don't think it's boring.
That's true, yeah. You're on the second season so far?
We are. Yeah. We'll see if this comes up with Susan Wiggs when we sit down to talk with her. It might.
Yeah. Listen, I only listen to 90210 Here We Go. Yes, I don't watch the show.
Yeah.
I don't find it that boring.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
I find Brandon to be annoying.
Yeah.
As some kind of alien baby child.
That's fair.
But for the most part, when things are happening, I'm like, oh no. Yeah. Kelly, learn to read.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're in there. Yeah. It's Donna.
Donna can't read.
Jeez.
I mean, she can read.
She can read.
Yeah.
All right.
Kelly's the one who's like, charge it.
Yeah. You got it. Anyway, Oysterville Sewing Circle. I was trying to explain the plot to this to my wife. It is just full of things. It's gonna be a treasure trove of discussions when we do this for book club later in the month, because there's a lot to tackle in this book. So we'll get into some of that with Susan Wiggs as well. I also reread the first of the Black Widow series, Volume 1, The Finely Woven Thread. So I read this back in 2015 and never read the rest of the series, and I thought with the movie coming out, I wanted to revisit it. Okay. And I was going to start with Volume 2, but I had no memory. And reading it, nothing came back.
Yeah, that happens.
And I did like it better this time. I only gave it 2 stars 5 years ago. This time, 3.
Wow, look at you.
Yep. I am currently reading the first Animorphs book
for
our K.A. Applegate Spotlight.
Hold on.
Coming up.
The Awakening. The Invasion. I'm such an idiot.
Oh, you dumb idiot jerk. The Invasion by K.A. Applegate.
The Awakening. Yep. Who the heck
Is he turning into like a lizard?
He's turning into a like a chameleon.
Little boy turned into Oh, he's in a shoe. He's in a shoe. That's cute.
Yeah. Sneaking around. Don't say it's cute. It's scary.
It's cute.
When you're that small, man, anytime the Animorphs turned into something small, it was terrifying.
Look out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Did they ever team up with Alex Mack?
No.
Never.
No.
Not once.
No.
Not a single time.
No.
Do the shows cross over?
No.
Not once.
No.
Not a single time.
No.
Darn it. Well, that's it for me, bookmark-wise.
I don't think that's the book I've read more than any other book, but I certainly read The Invasion quite a bit.
Well,
About halfway through the series, I think, is the good, because this is definitely when the ghostwriter started taking it. But like the first 25 or 26 books, I reread them all at least once.
Wow.
Many of them more
Wow.
other times. I'm like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm just going to read the one where they go into South America.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it inspired you, so
Inspired me to reread Animorphs.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't we do a whole podcast about rereading?
Yeah.
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 I never do it.
Oh, yeah.
I've done it maybe twice in my whole
Except
life.
with Black Widow.
Black Widow, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Exception to the rule. All right, let's take a look at some book news. I have a weird piece of book news that I wanted to share with you. At this point, this is kind of old news because this has been kicking around, but we've never discussed it. NBC has ordered a pilot called Langdon, and it's a prequel series to The Da Vinci Code.
Oh.
Dan Brown's
Wow.
The Da
A
Vinci
prequel.
Code. I guess that's what they're calling it. I don't know why they're.
Is that world very rich for prequels?
I don't know.
Aren't all the cults just going to be hidden?
Pretty much, yeah. For more on Dan Brown, you can go to soundcloud.com/allthebooks and find episode 77.
How the
where
heck did we do a Dan Brown spotlight?
Eric, my brother Steve, and I talk all about Dan Brown.
Uh-huh.
I was not interested. I'm a little bit more interested when I see that they're basing it on The Lost Symbol. The Lost Symbol is the third book in the Langdon series, and the movies skipped over it. So they did Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, which those came out in opposite order. And then they skipped to book 4, Eric's Falling Asleep, and did a movie on Inferno, which was terrible.
Right.
Lost Symbol is my favorite of the books, and that's what this is about. So they've cast
Lost Symbols.
They've cast Ashley Zuckerman as Langdon. He was seen in shows like The Succession and Manhattan. And who knows? Maybe it'll be a sequel or a series. Maybe it won't. That's it.
Weird.
I know. What's on the old New York Times bestseller list, buddy?
Well, Pauly Shore. First.
I wish. Does Pauly Shore have a memoir coming out?
Yeah, it's called The Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Leaning Tower of Cheese. Best Pauly Shore movie?
I've only seen 2.
What have you seen?
Well, I guess I've seen 3. The first 2 Goofy movies.
Okay.
And Stepson?
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law.
Yeah, that's pretty
it.
good. You haven't seen In the Army now?
No.
Maybe that's the Ernest title. There's an Army.
No, anything that's the Ernest is Ernest in the Army.
You're right.
So, yeah.
And then there's the one where he's like on jury duty, I think.
I've never seen either of those.
I've not seen Biodome.
No, I haven't seen Biodome.
Okay. I loved Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's on the New York Times
All right,
bestseller list,
so
old man?
Pauly Shore is driving down the road. His
Yeah.
tire pops.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a spare tire.
Bummer.
No spare. All right, number 10 on the New York Times bestsellers list for young adult fiction.
Oh.
Number 10, Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. Romance blooms between 2 unlikely teens while working together in an upcoming local election. Remember this?
Yeah.
Number 9, Infinity Sun by Adam Silvera. Twin brothers are caught up in a war between the magical spellwalkers and bloodcasters. I was watching SNL. I was watching the RuPaul episode of SNL, and he was in a library, and there were all the books in the library.
Right.
Infinity Sun was right there on the
Really?
shelf. I saw it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. My brain's always working.
I know,
I'm always on the clock.
I know it is.
Boy, he really tore apart Eloise and Madeline.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eiffel Tower's not in the woods.
Yeah.
Learn to draw friends.
That's pretty good.
Just really tore them down.
Yeah.
Number 8, The Queen's Assassin by Melissa De La Cruz.
Look out.
Calden Holt and Shadow embark on a dangerous quest and fall in love.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, dangerous quests are just a goldmine for love stories.
I guess so, yeah.
Number 7, 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippencott, Michael Daughtry, and Tobias Iconis. Stella and Will are in love, but they can't get within 5 feet of each other. 65 weeks on the list.
It's a long
The
time.
movie has long since been to video.
Yeah, faded into the past.
And
yeah.
yet this book is here, 65 weeks. This is
Ever-present.
doing John Green numbers.
Yeah.
Not Turtles All the Way Down numbers,
Oh,
because that was
no.
bad, but more like, the other
Turtles all the
numbers.
way dumb.
The Hate You Give is at number 6, 157 weeks on the list. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas.
I just want to point out our spotlight on John Green was episode 103.
Oh, yeah.
So go back and find that. You didn't like it? Ben was on that one. Ben Lehman.
Yeah, Ben Lehman likes John Green.
I know he does.
I thought The Stars Among Us, or whatever it's called,
Fault in Our Stars?
Fault in Our Stars, was very good. But then I thought I couldn't even finish Turtles All the Way Down.
No, I couldn't do that either, but I did like Abundance of Catherine's all right.
I think I just would have had to be a certain age.
Yeah.
And dumb? No. Okay.
No.
Number 5,
Poor
Children
Ben.
of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adamanti. Are you guys making fun of John Green? Number 4, One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus.
Look
In the
out.
sequel to One of Us is Lying, a deadly game of truth or dare via text now plagues students of Bayview High.
Oh, not Bayside. Okay,
We've
we've
done
been
this.
We've
We've
been down
done
this
this.
road.
Yeah.
Okay, I got nervous.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking Bayville High for some
Yeah.
reason, too.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Is that from X-Men Evolution?
I don't know.
Number 3, Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tommy Adamanti.
Yes. X-Men Evolution is Bayville High School.
I can't remember the last time I watched X-Men Evolution, but I
But
guess that's in
you
my
had
brain
it
for the
right
rest of my
there.
life.
You had it right there. Catch Eric over on Previously on X-Men on his Side Hustle podcast.
Zali must stop the threat of civil war in Orisha. Number 2, One of Us is Lying. Karen and McManus. For 5 students, the detour into detention ends in murder. Number 1, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That's what you would need then.
Yeah.
If you were in detention and it ended in murder, you're going to want The Good Girl's
You
Guide to
definitely
Murder
will, yeah.
by Holly Jackson. While trying to solve a murder-suicide case for her senior project,
Yep.
Pip now finds her life in jeopardy.
Uh-oh.
That's it. That was number 1.
That's the whole list.
Jeez.
Okay, sorry.
Really surprised you there.
I'm sorry. I got
Snuck up on you like a killer.
It really
like
did.
a guy who's going to sneak up on you and kill you.
Huh.
Yeah. How would you like to be murdered?
How would I like to be murdered? Wow.
No, that's going to be the name of my thriller book there.
Oh,
how would you like to be murdered?
That's not bad.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about our spotlight today, Eric,
Yeah?
because Robin, the boy wonder,
Uh-huh.
has long been a favorite of mine. One of my all-time favorite characters.
You like certain Robins more than you like Batman. You like them when they're Batman more than Batman.
No, I don't like... Look, Dick Grayson becomes Batman, and it's a fun run.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say. It brings something different to the character. I do like
Look,
that.
if the Joker was holding a gun to Bruce Wayne Batman
Yeah.
or Dick Grayson Nightwing
Yeah.
and said, this is why only fools are heroes, now choose, you would actually choose to save Nightwing.
Yes.
And there'd be no attempt to save both.
I mean, I would try.
No.
I would.
No.
I would.
You'd just be like, Nightwing, I choose
I would.
Nightwing.
I would try.
Okay.
So that's me. I mean, I like Robin pretty much in any form. It took me a while on Damian Wayne, but we'll get into the various Robins.
Yeah,
down
one
the
could say
road.
I helped you with Damian Wayne.
You did.
Against your
What about
will.
you? What's your feelings on Robin?
What's my feelings? I like Robin.
Okay. But do you have a preference? Batman alone, Batman with Robin?
Batman alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's hard. I don't know if I could say that outright.
Well, here's the thing. I like Batman alone, or I like Batman with the Bat family.
Yes.
I'm not a super fan of just Batman and Robin.
Okay.
If there's a Robin, then I also want a Huntress and a Batgirl.
Yeah, that makes
and,
sense.
like those other people. So
I
that
do love the Bat family, and I hear what you're saying. And I think it really depends on the kinds of stories you tell with the solo Batman are so much different than the kind of stories you tell with either a Robin or a Bat family.
Yeah.
So
certain things you
know.
can do with a fully grown adult man who's trained himself to fight in all the martial art forms.
doesn't
of
work
man.
when you have teenagers.
When you have a
when
child.
you're trying to go to Target all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know.
We can go to Target right after this, Robin.
Let's,
Thanks.
so let's see. What do you have any idea? Like when
When was Robin created? When did they introduce Robin?
1940.
1940.
1940.
Oh, right. That makes sense because it's 80 years.
Right,
All right. So
exactly, yes.
not long after.
You're right.
A little less than a year.
Detective Comics 38, which probably actually came out in March, but was issue dated for April of 1940, is when Robin was introduced. Yeah.
So they created Batman. He was a big hit, but they were like, you know what this really needs? A kid.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Batman's like shooting people and...
Why did they do it? Did you ever read that?
I mean, it was
just to get young readers.
Yeah,
right?
they just
That's
thought
the
that
whole thing.
kids needed to see themselves in the comics, so they created Robin.
Well, then he quickly became the gold standard because, as I mentioned on our Green Arrow spotlight a few weeks back,
Everybody's Robin.
Yeah, it was suddenly like, oh, he has a sidekick, and he has a sidekick, and he has a sidekick.
It's one of the weird things about the Marvel universe in that none of their characters really have sidekicks.
That's true.
Like there was Bucky,
I was just gonna say,
but Bucky was
yeah.
also created like in the 40s, with Captain America originally. And then they killed him off and didn't bring him back until like 2010.
Yeah.
You know, Spider-Man's never really had like a sidekick, and Daredevil's never had it. It's just the DC universe full of them.
They love them.
You can't swing a lead pipe without killing a Robin.
Yeah, well, DC Comics likes sidekicks and they likes like mantles, passing the mantle. And I feel like Marvel, up until very recently, never messed with
That's one of the
mantle
great
passing.
things about DC, the legacy.
Yeah,
of it all.
I agree.
Anyways, Robin. So the first Robin,
Yeah, was Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson.
But what is your earliest memory of that character?
My earliest memory of Robin, it's got to be the animated series, the 90s animated series.
Really?
The Batman animated
Like you
series.
hadn't heard of Robin before that?
I can't think of a time I would have ever seen Robin in anything because I didn't watch the Super Friends.
Okay.
or the old Batman cartoons.
Right.
I watched the Superman Fleischer cartoon, but that was it in terms of that stuff.
Huh.
I remember those old like Fantastic Four cartoons that were Hanna-Barbera produced or something, but that was it. So yeah, Batman animated series would have just been Robin.
Interesting.
And he wasn't even on it a lot.
No.
So
No. I mean, later he was, right? Eventually he's like added to the titles.
They have to add him there, but that would be it. Then it would have been Crystal Donald and Batman Forever, and then it would have been when the Batman animated series moved over to the Kids WB and brought in Tim Drake.
Interesting.
So.
When I was like super little, like kindergarten age and all that, I feel like Robin was everywhere because I watched. I'm trying to decide. It's like a three-way tie between Adam West Batman, Super Friends, and the old Filmation Batman and Robin cartoon. I'm really not sure which one it would be.
If I read a children's book with him in it before I saw the cartoon, that might be it. But if I did, it would have been a children's book of the 90s animated series.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Lauren Lester then is my first Robin.
I'm pretty sure, because I remember being like at daycare with my friends as a very, very young child, basing it on the Filmation series. So I think it's probably that. But, I mean, like late 80s, Robin's everywhere. He's all over.
In the late 80s, I was 3.
That's true.
Also, until about 8, I wouldn't say I had a lot of friends. So I didn't need Robin.
Wow.
I could just be my own superhero.
What's
Boy, that got sad.
It did.
Listen,
really
it wasn't sad. I called myself Super Kid. I wore my long underwears and a pillowcase. He was the coolest.
Yeah.
He fought a lady that controlled bees. He fought a guy who had a helmet that made himself super smart.
That's
he
cool.
fought a guy who's made of pure energy.
Yeah.
Super Kid was the bee's knees.
He does sound fun.
Thank you.
What I think is funny is that for basically my entire life, like by the time you were born, Dick Grayson was not Robin anymore.
That's true. Yeah.
It's just in the comic continuity. Like
I've never lived in a world without the McNugget, and I've never lived in a world without Jason Todd.
That's right. He started it all for you. So let's do a quick rundown of the Robins. How about that?
Okay. Robin rundown.
So
I
Dick
like
Grayson,
it. DC copy patent.
Dick Grayson, whose background is he was in a circus act, the Flying Graysons.
Circus act with his family.
Parents are killed, and Bruce Wayne takes him in.
Or depending on the source, his parents and his extended family.
Yeah, right. Bruce Wayne takes him in as a kid and trains him as Robin from a young age.
Yeah.
And that is basically the status quo for, 43 years. And Robin wasn't always super present in the comics. Like I think it kind of would ebb and flow when you're focusing on Robin.
They did
during the Englehart eras, and like Denny O'Neil did a ton with Robin.
I remember reading the what was the one that we read? The one about Ghost.
Oh yeah, Strange Apparitions.
Yeah. I think he's in there like once.
Yeah, he kind of shows up, but he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, because he's part of the Titans at that point.
Yep.
So Dick Grayson, he's hanging out with everybody. That's usually the Robin that is in anything.
Yeah.
So
you usually get Dick Grayson. Yep. And then in 1983, basically they split off, and Robin is allowed to grow up and become Nightwing, his own character. Dick Grayson
join the Teen Titans.
Becomes Nightwing, joins the Teen Titans, and has his own stuff, which he's pretty much been doing consistently since then. Jason Todd doesn't last long as Robin. He's not popular.
No.
And he's so different. He's so different from Dick Grayson.
He's such a,
Dick Grayson is very subordinate to Batman. Like that's their whole dynamic, because they're a team and he's a junior partner.
Jason and Richard Grayson should switch names.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Based off of personalities.
Good point. Jason Todd right away is clashing with Batman, and he's I mean, in the early comics, Batman sees him trying to steal the wheels off the Batmobile.
Yeah, he's like an orphan, right? Orphan on the streets.
Yeah, and it changes, but and Batman takes him in, and this was a whole thing. Nobody liked the character.
Yeah.
DC actually did a poll.
Yeah, a phone you could call in
to call in and see, like, is Jason Todd found alive after his kerfuffle with the Joker, or is he found dead?
Yeah.
And the fans have spoken.
Yeah.
And Jason Todd was killed off in the comics, and was one of the few instances where that really stuck for
a long time. Yeah.
Decades.
Until Jeff Johns was like, you know what I love more than anything? Nostalgia.
Yeah. We go for a period without a Robin.
Yeah. How long?
It's not that long because I mean it's a good maybe 10 years really. Robin shows up as Tim Drake in 91, so not quite 10 years.
Well, as the trade for this story claims, Batman has to have a Robin.
Yeah, that's the premise of that.
Yeah.
Tim Drake comes in and is basically just a brilliant kid and a good detective who figures it out.
Yeah.
Gets himself into the Batcave and is basically like, we got a partner, Haas. And then that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Tim Drake remained Robin for a long time until what? 2000.
Until they rebooted everything. Well, no, because Spoiler took over for Robin a little bit.
For a little bit. In 2004, Stephanie Brown, who'd been a side character in Tim Drake's Robin series, who was playing the role of Spoiler, when Tim Drake is out, she becomes Robin briefly during the War Drums, War Games era.
Killed off, but she's not really killed off.
Yeah, exactly.
Then she becomes Batgirl.
And then Tim Drake is Robin again, while Dick Grayson is still Nightwing.
Yep.
And in 2009 or so, we see Damian Wayne emerge as the actual biological son of Batman.
Earlier. Goodness. I was buying these comics right after, this happened right after Infinite Crisis. Isn't Batman and Son like 2005? Yeah, Damian, who is the literal son of Batman.
Yep.
And Talia al Ghul.
Yes.
And, like 13? I think when we meet him, he's supposed to be like 10.
Yeah.
He's like real young. And so annoying. I can totally understand why people would call in and tell them to kill Jason Todd, because if I had been given the option of killing Damian Wayne, I would have. I felt no stronger peace reading that Batman Leviathan story than when Damian was killed off, and I hated that story.
Yeah,
but at the end, I was like, you know what? This was a necessary evil to remove the blight that is Damian Wayne.
He actually debuts as Robin in Batman 657, which is 2006. So yeah, and Damian has remained Robin to this very day.
Whoa.
With Tim Drake taking on the mantle of
no matter how many times
Red
we've
Robin.
killed him, he just keeps. Yeah, now Tim Drake is Red Robin,
and Jason Todd, who returned as
the Red Hood.
The Red Hood.
So now, have they changed his name yet?
I don't think so. So now you have basically 4 or 5 Robins out there.
There's another Robin.
I know.
Well, he's not going by Robin, right? He's going by Signal.
Oh yeah,
like Rebirth
Duke,
or Duke.
Yeah, he's going as Signal.
Okay, so he's not
No,
officially
he never
a Robin.
became a Robin. So now in the current continuity, you have Dick Grayson as Nightwing. You have Jason Todd now as Red Hood, who's a bit of an anti-hero. You have Tim Drake, who I'm not up to date, so
yeah, the reboot was not kind to Tim Drake.
Tim Drake as Red Robin was pretty sidelined.
Yeah.
Stephanie Brown is back as Spoiler, as far as I've gotten, and Damian Wayne remains Robin.
But also the side qual, the alternate reality Robin from The Dark Knight Returns.
That's the one.
Carrie Kelly is another Robin.
Yes, and would you say she's your favorite Robin?
No, I guess not technically. Okay. She can't really be my favorite Robin because she's not really, like, The Dark Knight is its own crazy thing. Yeah. So, I really like her as Robin. I think she's fun. I like where her story went in the Master Race one.
Yeah, I do too.
So I think she's a fun character. I think her costume is kind of like 80s cyberpunk.
Yeah. And
she cracks me up, but yeah, I think she's cool. But no, I think my favorite Robin is probably Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I kind of prefer Tim Drake as Robin and Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Yeah.
Because Nightwing manages to not just be a Batman clone. Like, it makes total sense. I think Nightwing's character, given like his history as Robin, I think that works out really well.
Yeah.
So should we talk Dick Grayson for a minute?
Okay.
Dick, of course, the original Robin, as we've said. Have you read much of any Nightwing titles?
Boy, if I have, I've forgotten them.
Okay.
Nightwing has mainly appeared in other things I'm reading.
Okay.
So, but I like him.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot with the Teen Titans. He first was Nightwing in the Judas Contract, in the 80s. Stayed with the New Teen Titans as Nightwing for a long time. He's had many solo series by himself. There was the Alfred's Return miniseries, which got things back going for Nightwing. Yeah. He has a crazy mullet. And then there was
the mullet.
Yeah.
So the 90s Batman animated series, when it becomes Gotham Knights, WB, where they have Tim Drake as Robin, Nightwing's there, and they give him that like pointed mullet. Yeah. That's my first time seeing even hearing the name Nightwing. When somebody's like, that's his old partner Robin, I was like, what?
Yeah, that blew your mind?
What did you just say?
That's cool.
That's not Robin.
I think my first interaction with Nightwing would have been, my friend had a DC Comics like role-playing game with little like card characters, and flipping through the Teen Titans, it was like reading his bio. I was like, this is Robin. So yeah, I mean, a similar experience. Chuck Dixon writes that series for a long time. That's a pretty good run. And then it gets a little patchy after that. Like by the time you get to New 52, I think the whole New 52 Nightwing era.
We're talking about New 52.
I know. Wow. It's pretty rough. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
Kyle Higgins is the main writer on that, and I've never liked a Nightwing story that he wrote.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Then we have the Grayson era for a while with Tom King and Tim Seeley turning Dick Grayson basically into a spy with he and Helena Bertinelli, who is Huntress. So go back and listen to the Birds of Prey episode.
Birds of Prey.
And that was, I mean, that's 5 trades worth. That's quite a few issues of that. And then finally with Rebirth, we're back with Nightwing, and I'm currently reading Rebirth Nightwing, and I've liked it quite a bit.
Okay.
So I like what they do with Nightwing's character in stories like Infinite Crisis, which all sort of hinges on the goodness of Dick Grayson, which I think is kind of a cool thing that he sort of stands alone in that. He has an interesting relationship with Superman. He's definitely top tier for me. How do you rank Dick Grayson? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I like Dick Grayson. I definitely prefer him as Nightwing. Okay. I like the Nightwing costume. I thought Nightwing was so cool in the animated series.
Yeah. So would you say that's your favorite Nightwing?
No, I'll definitely prefer the comic Nightwing. Okay. But I mean, as a kid who wasn't reading comics and only knew like this stuff from this cartoon and stuff, like that was so cool. I can't remember him being in No Man's Land very much because he's in Bloodhaven. So I'm not sure how much of a role he played in that. I'd have to reread it. The first comics I would have read with Dick Grayson in any role probably was Dark Victory. Okay. The Jeff Loeb, Tim Salt, Batman Dark Victory. Because
that's a good one.
It wasn't until Batman and Son that I started reading Batman like as it was coming out in issues.
Okay.
So I was just picking up the graphics. He just wasn't in any of them for a long time. So for most of what I did, it was just Batman solo anyways.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, Dark Victory might have been the first comic I ever read where there was a Robin / Dick Grayson.
I've read some of the really older stuff, like the DC has archives, the DC Archives Robin, which is like backup stories from the 40s and 50s, and they are pretty goofy.
Yeah.
Pretty like Silver Age
goofy,
not in a fun way.
He shows up in No Man's Land to comfort Helena after she stood up to the Joker. So
yeah.
I remember that now.
There's also a DC showcase that has all of Robin's like the backup stories when they were finally like he's a little too old to be Batman's sidekick. We're giving him like backups in Detective Comics. So there's there. As far as Nightwing goes, I think probably the Chuck Dixon run pre New 52. I think that's really the way to go if you're going to pick up Nightwing. Nightwing Year One by Chuck Dixon is a great place to start. Chuck Dixon also wrote Robin Year One that follows Dick Grayson as well, right? Yeah, I like that.
Well, I have now read more stuff with Dick Grayson in a sense.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think like probably Robin Year One or Dark Victory would be a good place to start with that character.
Yeah.
And if you're curious in Nightwing, I would say, go Nightwing Year One, take a look at the Chuck Dixon run.
Or Teen Titans.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
For me, it would be Dick Grayson on the Batman animated series. And then that would also then be Dick Grayson in Batman Forever, the movie, played by Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Those were my experience as a kid.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about Batman Forever?
Sure. I mean, I loved Batman Forever when it came out. I've never been happy with that Robin, but I was really excited to see Robin in a movie.
Yeah. Listen, as a kid, I didn't care that he was older. I thought he was so cool when I first saw it as a kid. In 1995, as a small child, I thought it was cool. I thought the costume was cool. It just made sense to me. I'm like, I don't want Robin to be a stupid kid.
Yeah.
I want to be like, cool and edgy and stuff.
Yeah.
Then I grew up and moved on past that.
Up until that point, I agree with you that I think Batman the Animated Series was the best, most serious, like, take a look at Robin that you had out there. And Super Friends, he and Batman are just kind of goofy.
But whenever Dick Grayson in that cartoon is like off on his own, he's wearing like a sweater vest.
He does have a sweater.
He's such a nerd. And then like even when he's like he says no problemo.
Yeah.
At one time, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Not great.
He's like doing an impression of Batman. He's like, gee, Robin, thanks for saving me. Then he's like, oh, no problemo, Batman. I'm like, blah.
Yep.
But yeah, Batman Forever was like, man, this is some cool stuff. So,
and then you saw Batman
changed.
and Robin and everything.
And then, then Dick Grayson, Batman and Robin.
We talk all about Batman and Robin over on the Three Nice Things podcast.
Yeah.
So you could take a look at that.
It's not... do we remember what anybody felt about Chris O'Donnell in that role in that movie?
That movie's not good for anyone.
Yeah.
But I think he's fine,
Yeah, all right.
No, you know what? I think he's fine in Batman Forever. I think by Batman and Robin, there's just nothing left for him, So,
yeah.
Anyway. But let's talk Jason Todd. Have you read much with Jason Todd in the role of Robin?
The first thing I would have read with Jason Todd was like the Under the Red Hood comics as they were coming out.
So later.
And probably even just reading them in Wizard magazine.
What I will say positively about Jason in that era is that you would never read a Batman comic and assume that it's Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very obvious that it's a different character. Yeah. And when he's dressed the same way and like looks identical, it's impressive that they're able to do that.
I have read the one where the Joker murders that kid.
Oh.
Batman Death in the Family.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a good comic book.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
So
I would say my favorite.
Congrats to all the people who phoned in. Yeah. You actually kind of made a good story.
What a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I know. Kill Robin.
In Batman the Cult, have you read The Cult? It's a Jim Starlin.
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
It's fine. It just wanted to be other stories.
I think it's a good use of Jason Todd in that.
Yeah, he's in that quite a bit.
Because Batman is brainwashed in that and basically like captured by a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of up to Robin to snap him out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just... like the relationship that Jason has with him is so different that he's able to like do that in a way that I'm not so sure like Dick Grayson would have had an easy enough time to do that. So I would say if you're curious about Jason Todd as Robin, read Batman the Cult.
Yeah. OG Robin would have hugged Batman and be like, remember, you're like my dad.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jason Todd was like, listen, you stupid idiot. You're so old and decrepit.
And it works.
He's like,
and it works.
Old and
That's
decrepit. You're a punk. Yeah.
And then Jason Todd goes on to be in the anti-hero team, Red Hood and the Outlaws, which is a series that I like and you've always hated.
I hated that first volume. Yeah, I was like, who's this for?
I think that's a fun series. Jason Todd is the one character who stays constant in that whole series. But that's a good time. I have a good time with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Under the Red Hood as a comic kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
Because it was happening during Infinite Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At the time?
Yeah.
So, like, the ending gets all, like, kind of confusing and stuff.
Okay.
And the way he's brought back to life is kind of annoying.
I agree.
The animated movie, Under the Red Hood, is very good.
It is. It's one of the better
Jason
ones. I agree.
The 90s animated series,
right.
when it makes the switch back over to Fox, they have to kind of reboot things. Batgirl becomes more of a reoccurring character. Dick Grayson is Nightwing. And they bring in a new Robin, whose name is Tim Drake. But... when you really get down to it, he's Jason Todd, named Tim Drake, because his origin is that his father's killed by some goons of Two-Face.
Okay.
I think maybe even Two-Face kills his dad or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
The point is, his dad is killed. His dad is no good. So he's like an orphan, and he's kind of got the attitude like Jason Todd.
Okay.
And you can almost feel like this Robin is the one that's going to steal the tires off the Batmobile.
Okay. So why didn't they just call him Jason Todd?
DC wouldn't let them do it. Because Jason was dead at the time. Tim Drake was the one in the comics. So they weren't going to get the permission to call him Jason Todd. So Jason Todd, at this point, I don't think has ever really appeared in the DC animated universe.
Yeah.
But he's not as annoying, or maybe depending on who you ask, he's not as annoying as Jason Todd was in the comics.
Okay.
But, man, I tell you what, I thought he was so cool in the cartoon. Like, I hate how much the producers were probably right about this, because they were like, kids need to see themselves in this stuff. So I'm watching this Batman animated series at like 12 or something, and I thought Robin, because it's the new costume where it's like all red and kind of darker.
Yeah.
He's got that like anime spiky hair. And I'm like, I want to be that Robin. That's cool. It was like the first time where I was like, I'd be okay not being Batman. I can be Robin in this story.
Well.
I thought he was cool. I think because I wasn't reading Spider-Man or anything, he was on this cartoon. This probably was the first time I saw like that kind of age kid, my age-ish, being a superhero. Because I just hadn't watched that other stuff. This was the first time I had a contemporary superhero.
Okay.
Because like the Planeteers were older than me when I was a kid.
What about the Wonder Twins?
I didn't watch that stuff. I know that like Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and all those people and Alan Burdett, when they were like, you need to put a Kid Robin in there, like, oh man, we don't want to. Kids don't care. But as a kid, I was like, this is cool. Yeah.
It worked.
When I was in bed, I would just like play with my stuffed animals, and they would be like teenage superheroes, like the Robin from that cartoon,
Classic.
Not Batman for some crazy reason.
Well, let's talk Tim Drake for a minute then, because I don't think instantly people were like, yay, a new Robin, we love Tim Drake, but I think it was relatively quick
warmer
that people
I've read
got on
theories
board.
that he's like almost a Mary Sue for like the comic book fan. Have you ever seen this kind of theory?
No.
That like the way he is, like his kind of like he figures it out that he's Batman, and he's got like a respect for the lore and the way he's treated. He's kind of like how comic readers themselves at the time might have wanted to be Robin. I don't know. It was just an interesting thing. All right.
It makes sense. I mean, you're right. You're right, because he is pretty unique in that he armchair quarterbacks his way into being a superhero.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Have you read any of the Robin standalone, like just the Robin series?
No, but he was definitely the Robin that was in the comics when I started reading them.
Okay.
Like No Man's Land and whatnot.
The Tim Drake Robin series is definitely the one that I followed the most closely, like as it was happening. It was the one that I was caught up on and would wait like eagerly for the new trade to come out. It's not a great way to read it because it crosses over so much with Batman and Nightwing and Detective
How many
Comics
issues
and all that.
did Tim Drake's Robin series last for? It's huge. It's kind of crazy.
Well over 100. It's a long-running series.
It's like shocking. This thing must have been selling well
I
for
think
a
so.
while.
And I remember they tested the waters with a couple of miniseries first. There was like Robin 3, The Joker's Wild is the one I remember because it had a holographic cover. So I remember picking random issues of that up, like just in a comic book store. And it wasn't until later when they were collected that I read them. But
I tried to read Jeff Johns' like Teen Titans. I never really got into it, but this was the Robin that was in that Teen Titans.
Okay.
It was Tim Drake.
Yeah.
So
I like that run. I read quite a few of those.
He hasn't been in any of the stuff, like the animated movies or anything.
None of them?
No, because Under the Red Hood has like Nightwing. Usually they always have like Nightwing, and now with the new continuity, they have Nightwing and Damian, but they don't have... Did they have Red Robin in that animated movie Bad Blood?
I don't think so.
No.
But I think it's Tim Drake who's in the Batman Unlimited movies.
Okay.
You
know what?
Monsters and
They're
stuff.
all in Batman Ninja.
Oh, yeah,
all the
that's right.
Robins, remember?
That's
they go
right.
back in time, and like Tim Drake has the... or was it Damian? One of them has the pet monkey.
Yeah.
And with the flute.
Yeah, I think that was Tim, actually.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's fun. That's a real treat for Robin fans.
Yeah, take a look at that.
Yeah.
So you haven't read any of that long-running series, though?
No. Well, I'll have to get the DC app.
Yeah, you will.
If it exists in the future.
It's all there. It's pretty cool. But I've been going back and catching up on some of the ones that I've read before, and it is kind of hard because it'll be like, this is like Batman Troika was one that I just read recently, and that was like 2 issues of Robin, but you had to find the other random issues. So it is kind of hard to follow because it goes so many times together. You know, it's
spoiler. Stephanie Brown is kind of like him and Tim Drake, or her and Tim Drake have like a on again. Will they? Won't they?
Thing.
Okay. Yeah. Whereas Dick Grayson has just slept around with every character of the DC universe.
That's true.
Yeah.
That kind of is his legacy there.
Yeah. How he doesn't have a kid.
Yeah.
How every other character in the DC universe has some son or daughter, and Dick Grayson is just walking around like, ha ha ha, best life now.
Yeah, you're right.
He's the bros Robin.
Yep.
No.
Well, in collected form, you can get 183 issues of the Tim Drake Robin.
Finally.
And then it switches over to...
We have a bunch of them just in single issue, like by our couch for to read here at the library.
At that point, it switches to a title called Red Robin, where he takes on the Red Robin mantle. And that goes for a little while.
Yeah.
And Tim Drake has really not been well represented.
Nope.
As soon as New 52 hit, he's pretty much been off the radar.
Yeah, once they reboot the universe with New 52, he's gone.
He's there for a little bit in Rebirth, but
he shows up in the Teen Titans, doesn't he? Titans like New 52. But he doesn't have any connection with Batman.
Right, yeah, he's Red Robin in that. He's
right.
Red Robin in that, but never was Robin in that continuity.
Ugh.
I know, it's no
Boy, good. DC sure knew how to alienate everybody.
That Tim Drake series, though, is great. I highly recommend that. The run, those 183 issues,
yeah.
most of what I've read, I really enjoyed in that. And
well, I mean, at that point, that's probably as close as DC has to like a Spider-Man kind of title.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and that was like I said, that was appointment reading for me. I was constantly checking like when the next one was coming out so that I could read it. I actually subscribed to Robin for a while, so I could stay up with it that way. But I absolutely loved it. So yeah, do go and check that out.
But the real killer of Tim Drake wasn't the New 52. It was a young boy named Damian Wayne.
Yes, Damian, who comes in with an attitude.
Boy, does he!
Something to prove.
He out attitudes. He makes Jason Todd look like Donatello.
Yeah. I never read the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin run with Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian as Robin. But gosh. Not good?
Grant Morrison's Batman just becomes an absolute mess. I hate it. Hate it. Terrible time to be reading Batman, I felt. Which is too bad because it started out very promising. The actual issues, Batman and Son, where we're introduced to Damian Wayne, was kind of fun. And then there was that kind of cool, Then There Were None Batman story. And then, like, things just started getting weirder and crazier and stupid. And then they kind of killed Batman off by sending him back in time. And then they had him, like, time travel forward, which you thought would be interesting, but it was stupid. And then, Nightwing was Batman, and it was just...
I think that Damian as Robin was bad for like 10 full years. I really think it was.
It was like a national nightmare.
It was. That Batman and Robin run that was the two of them was terrible. Yeah. I hated it. And Damian's gone for a while, and it's like, yay, and then he's back. Yeah. It's not really until like the Rebirth era when you forced me to read both Super Sons and Teen Titans when they'd finally kind of found a balance and how to tame that character.
You actually don't seem to hate Damian in these DC animated movies. with the Teen Titans.
The later ones, like Teen Titans
versus Justice League.
No, not that one. I think it's Judas Contract. Teen Titans Judas Contract.
Oh, you like that one too.
Damian is pretty good in that. They find the right balance, and Dick Grayson's there to keep things on the rails.
Boy, I do not remember Judas Contract at all.
But Super Sons, which you made me read, is fun, and the Rebirth Teen Titans, where Damian is in the Teen Titans. Both of those are good, and they're good use of the character. He does have a standalone Robin series, which was the first in a long time of a standalone Robin series. It's just a two-volume run. Robin, Son of Batman, and it's cool. Yeah, it's 2 volumes. It starts a little slow. By the second volume, it's cooking, and then it's totally canceled. So
they've been playing off this thing in Super Son specifically. The Superman that we know, it has a son. Yeah, who's like Damian's age. Yeah, and they kind of like didn't they just like age him up or something now? Not Damian.
They're getting a little older.
Superman thing.
Yep. And
anyway,
Ridley Pearson is writing a separate graphic novel series on Super Sons, out of continuity.
Yeah, it kind of feels like now, whenever you see something in an animated universe or something, and it's a Robin, just to assume it's Damian. Yeah, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't know.
It is a little annoying. What makes it even more difficult is
at least Batman's putting his own kids now in danger instead of like just strangers' kids.
We haven't talked at all about the Teen Titans show. On from Cartoon Network that becomes Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, that was Dick Grayson.
That's Dick Grayson, and I love that show.
I know
but you never were in that show.
I feel like I was just, I don't know. I mean, you're older than I am, so it doesn't track. But like, it was on the same time as Justice League Unlimited, and it just was such a wackier tone, and I just wasn't connecting with it.
I see it hit me just right.
Yeah, I still don't really care for that show, but now like I've seen enough of it so that when we watch Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go, I had a weird nostalgia tinge to it all. Like seeing them, I'm like, oh, I remember watching this, but I never like loved it. Yeah, but and then you also have Dick Grayson as a Teen Titans Go Robin. Yeah, with his small baby hands.
A lot of fun.
No, Robin's.
So Teen Titans.
Hey, what would Robin's catchphrase be?
Crack an egg on it. So funny. So you have 4 seasons of the classic Teen Titans show.
Yeah,
and then
that movie that you love,
Trouble in Tokyo, which is not great.
Oh, I thought you loved it.
Then it comes back as shorts, and then finally you get Teen Titans Go, which is a much goofier take on it.
It's crazy.
And then you have 2 movies.
I feel like, popularity-wise, it's much bigger than the Teen Titans cartoon was.
It's definitely found its niche there, yeah. And you have a theatrical film, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, followed by a direct-to-video
Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go,
which is pretty cool because it takes all different versions of Teen Titans and puts them together.
He was a turtle.
Yeah. So both of those are a lot of fun. But all that to say, to your point of you just assume it's Damian, what's even more confusing is that Scott Menville, who voices Dick Grayson Robin in all the Teen Titans stuff, also voices Damian Robin in all the Lego stuff. So it's just like, who is that?
And the Lego Batman movie is about Batman like meeting Robin for the first time, and it's Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
So
as voiced by Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Which is a lot
that
of fun.
Robin cracks me up.
He's very
so
funny.
funny.
That's what my keychain is.
Yeah.
I should put my keys out here.
Can you be silent as the night when I desire to be?
Yeah. He nails it.
It's so funny. Yep. Tweet in the streets, Batman.
Yeah. I don't think there's been a lot of like, I mean, we've never really had a good live action on screen Robin. I mean, Burt Ward is fun.
Oh my gosh, we totally forgot to mention Burt Ward.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mentioned it as well. It was tied for my first experience with Robin.
Yeah, but still, like sorry, I've bogarted so much with the 90s animated series. I mean, yes, that would be so many people's Batman.
That's how you know Robin. Yeah, and it's certainly not a serious character.
The Simpsons made fun of this fact because they had Adam West on a little scene. They were at like a retro sci-fi convention and they see the old Adam West Batmobile and Bart is like, that's not the Batmobile, and Adam West's like, oh, I see, you're only familiar with it's like he said me and Robin used to drive around in this, and they're like, who the heck is Robin? It's like, you're only familiar with the new fancy Batman movies. And it's just like, in like until the animated series, a lot of people, there were kids who probably might not even know Robin existed, but during the 60s it's like, that's it. It was just Batman and Robin.
Yeah, you couldn't never see one without the other, basically.
So, yeah. And Burt Ward just showed up again. He just he
reprised the role on Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was pretty cool to see him again. I loved that show. I don't have anything bad to say about that show.
The Adam West show, but he reprised it again with Adam West in the Return of the Cape Crusader, animated movie.
Two-Face, Batman versus Two-Face.
Yeah,
with William Shatner.
So.
Both of those were pretty cool. We saw Cape Crusader in theaters.
Yeah, you, me, and 2 other people.
Pretty much.
In that
yeah,
entire
you, me,
theater.
and Burt Ward are in that theater, I think. But
So.
yeah, that was fun. I really liked Batman Two-Face too. Have you ever watched that?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you should check that out. So,
should
of
shut
course,
up.
that's like the classic, the first, not even the first live-action Robin, because he was in the serials as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for a long time, that
Yeah.
was it. And then you don't have, you don't see a live-action Robin
Until
again.
Chris O'Donnell shows
Until
up.
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
And then you don't see a live-action Robin again
Until ever.
until Titans.
Oh, the Titans show.
Titans on the DC Universe app, which is very frustrating.
How many Robins are in that show right now?
Just 2.
It's Jason. That's the Robin.
When the show
No.
starts,
Titans is following Dick Grayson.
it's following Dick Grayson, and he's still Robin
Right.
for the first season. But Jason is kind of the new Robin. He's
Ah,
there too,
okay.
so it's kind of a weird
Yeah.
thing. And the thing is, I think it's Brandon Thwaites is his name. He was in like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure other things that he'd want me to say, but I don't know. The thing is, he's a really good Dick Grayson, but the show is so dark and violent that it's hard to,
Yeah.
so he's very well cast, but the show is,
I
it
guess
doesn't really find its groove, I think, until the second season. But
I guess there's a Robin cameo in Gotham because in the first season you meet Dick Grayson's parents. They're young. They just got married. Or they're getting married.
okay.
Ugh.
But you don't see a baby.
No.
Okay.
There's no baby.
So that's not a cameo then.
I mean, it's his parents.
You're right.
That's the closest you got
You're right.
in Gotham.
Robin eventually joins the Batman, which that animated series that you don't like,
Mm-hmm.
which I
Oh,
love.
right, yeah. Yeah.
He's fun in that.
Yeah.
He's very little. And that one, Batgirl's Batman's first partner, and then Robin comes along, and she's got no patience for him.
Yeah.
So that's a good time.
Uh-huh.
I love the character.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Isn't Robin in Batman Brave and the Bold, the cartoon? That's Jason
is.
when he's Robin.
Is it?
I thought so.
I don't remember.
I thought like that Jason was involved in that show somehow.
Well, the Batman and Robin do not get along in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
if
so
that's
maybe
what
it
you're
is
thinking.
maybe it is Dick Grayson. I guess we should also mention, and you like this movie way more than I do, which Dark Knight Rises, you could technically say, if you wanted, there's a Robin in it.
No.
His first name, Nick, is Robin.
not gonna count.
His first name is Robin, but he goes by his middle
I'm
name.
not gonna
He's an
count, John
original
Blake. No,
for the
I'm
movie
not gonna
character
count this.
whose first name
Stop
is
it.
hidden, and he's a Robin character.
You stop
Which
this.
is just annoying because he's a cop, which Dick Grayson is.
Right. Just say he's Dick Grayson.
Th-
It would have been totally fine. Just say he's Dick Grayson.
anything.
Yeah. that's
Ugh.
a pain.
Anyway.
That's a real pain.
All right, here you go, Robin. Shut the heck
Do you
up,
remember in the
Christopher
late-
Nolan.
in the late-
You can just go off to your own little interstellar universe and disappear through some kind of black hole and never come back if that's what you think is going to satisfy people. Ugh, makes me so mad. Go on.
Huh. Do you remember when CW was going to make a
Flying Grayson
the
show?
Graysons? Yeah.
Oh, what a bad
Which is
idea.
crazy. I'm really
What a
glad-
bad idea.
It was a bad idea. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Anything else about Robin?
Well, I mean, he appears in most things. In most eras of Batman, you have a Robin represented. I think he has very successfully broken off into his own thing. You know, he's proven he can carry titles either as
Yeah.
Nightwing or
He's no
Tim Drake
Speedy.
Robin. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he is I think he's a top tier DC character.
Yeah.
At least Dick Grayson is.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah.
And he has 80 years worth of staying power. You know, a
80
lot of characters
years. Yeah.
around that time were either completely rebooted, like a Jay Garrick Flash situation, or just fell by the wayside. But
I think it's just also, I mean, you can just say Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense. Just the phrase Batman and Robin is a thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's no like, and now Flash and Kid Flash. And now Superman and Superboy.
Yep.
You just say Batman and Robin and you instantly
it.
know,
Yep,
like,
exactly.
you picture both of them. I mean, it probably helps that Robin showed up like a year after
Yeah.
Batman was on the streets.
you don't think Carrie Kelly's your favorite Robin?
I mean, I love Carrie Kelly, and
Yeah.
technically, I wish Carrie Kelly could just be mainstream Robin in general. So in that way, she is my favorite Robin.
Okay. Favorite on-screen presence of Robin, cartoon or live action?
I'll go with Tim Drake from the animated series.
I think I might have to give it to Teen Titans. Like not Teen
Yeah,
Titans
no, I
Go,
get
but
it.
just regular
Yeah,
old
no,
Teen
I get it,
Titans.
yeah.
I think Robin he's cool, he's a leader, he works well with the other team.
They're doing a Batman illusion in one of the episodes where
Yeah, they do.
Slade is like, "You will call me father."
Yeah.
And he turns away. He's like, "I already have a father." And then a bunch of bats go. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, in conclusion, I love Robin. He's one of my favorite comic book characters. He doesn't look a day over 75, but just turned 80. Yeah. So stop into the David A. Howe Public Library.
Hasn't aged since Scent of a Woman once. No, wait, that's Al Pacino.
No, Chris O'Donnell's in that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. You got it in one. Good job. We do have some Robin in the collection. We have some Nightwing in collection. We even have a volume of Grayson if you care. And of course, we have lots of animated Robin.
We have Under the Red Hood.
We have Under the Red
graphics.
Hood. Yep.
So, do we have Damien stuff?
We'll have to take a look at that. I sort of think that we don't.
Yeah.
But, well, we'll remedy that.
Okay.
Anyway. Book clubs are currently reading the Oysterville Sewing Circle.
Finally.
And we have a lot more planned. So, anything else you want to add, buddy?
No, that's it.
All right. Do you have like a Robin catchphrase from Adam West that you want to go out with?
Holy podcast outro, Batman.
But you got to do it like him.
Holy podcast outro, Batman. We got to go.
Crack an egg on it. So funny.